Yeah, Rob, there's new policies in place, Robert. You're not allowed to be nasty to me anymore.
Make me
Banned from YouTube.
Dear Susan.
Are you a Jimmy Kimmel? Get the hell off my platform. Bullshitting aside, we decided that we probably should try and get some more content out before the year's out, given that it took us like 3 fucking months to do that Gundam Wing video. Oh my god, that video took so long to make. Why did we do that?
Internet.
It was your choice. I hold you entirely responsible, and yet I have still let you pick the next one.
Because, unfortunately, on this one, I'm in the credits.
You were one of the motherfuckers who kickstarted this thing into existence, and so we got to review it because Rob's in the credits.
I wouldn't put the channel's name, but I hate you and don't want you getting any recognition.
Yeah, fair. It kind of shows how Rob feels about this show, that he was willing to put his, I say hard-earned money, but I feel that would
money
be...
I stole off people.
Yeah, money he stole from people he used to kickstart anime. You're welcome, anime industry. We're job creators here at We Heart Giant Robots.
Trickle-down anime.
Right, anyway, Rob, you are the person responsible for this primarily, so why don't you introduce what we have watched on this occasion?
I will use the great quote from the reviewer Jason Thompson. If you do not know who he is, he's the guy who wrote Manga, the Complete Guide, also known as one of them shit things they sold you in that the book magazines you'd get at school, like a book catalog, and it's like
Scholastic catalog, my dude. Scholastic catalog.
Yeah, that shit, right? That would have been 100%. That would have been in that. And his quote on Gunsmith Cats always makes me laugh. He describes the main characters drawn as thin-hip plastic toys with pubic hair, and frankly, pedophilic plot elements.
What?
Direct quote.
We watched very different shows.
To that man, definitely, yes.
Yes. There's no pedophilic elements, there's just guns. There is nothing but guns. This show is guns. And also cute anime girls with guns.
Guns are important to this show.
This is Gunsmith Cats, which was recently re-released on Blu-ray, thanks to the wonderful powers of Kickstarter and autism.
Mostly autism.
It was a late 1995 anime created by OLM Inc., who are essentially the Pokemon guys. That's what you'll know them from. But yeah, this is a show made for gun nuts by gun nuts. It's a wonderful, magical experience. Rob, would you care to try and summarize the plot of what goes on in this OVA, since again, you are on the credits. You are a producer.
Local gun shop runs foul of ATF. No dogs are harmed in the production of this show.
At least they don't do a Waco. It's wonderful.
There's a few houses set on fire, man.
There's a few houses set on fire, but they don't like gas a bunch of kids. So by ATF standards, it's a very successful operation.
Down with the government.
But you're not even American. Shut up!
Down with all the governments.
Ostensibly, the plot is about a girl called Riley Vincent and her pal Minnie Mae Hopkins. Riley being a bounty hunter who is really, really into guns, and Mae being that one girl from Konosuba who blows everything up, but being that in the 90s.
Also voiced by the voice actress of Rey, the English dub actress, I will hasten to add.
They're bounty hunters operating out of Chicago who they kind of do crimes to catch the people that they are, going after.
Yeah, but the Second Amendment.
Unfortunately, in this 3-part OVA, those geriatric buzzkills at the ATF decide to knock on their door, and one of their agents is keen on using them as part of a sting operation, and this turns into a whole thing. I'd try and describe the actual plot to you, but the actual plot is...
my actual political beliefs.
Come and take them. Yeah, it's more or less an excuse for Riley and Mae to run around and shoot guns that are beautifully drawn and blow stuff up in beautifully stylistic ways, and also introduce a former Guru assassin to chase them around shooting guns also.
The people that did the release are Anime Ego. They did a lot of translation of some very weird shit. Like, for example, they're the ones who did Otaku no Video. If you've not seen that, that is just weird. They also did Riding Bean and Bubblegum Crisis.
Yes.
Another one. And Bubblegum Crash.
Yes.
They also did a whole pile of Satoshi films, which is like these violent samurai films from various years of Japan. Basically, this is work by Kenichi Sonoda. He's famous for this, Riding Beam. He also worked on Royal Space Force Wings of Hanaze, Bubblegum Crash, Attack No Video. He's basically one of the guys involved with some of the very early work of Gainax. So this guy is like the odd guy at Gainax, if you will, because he worked on nothing else.
I read that he was a Gainax guy. I mostly looked up his manga and stuff that he'd done, which, to be fair, is some really cool shit. Like, Canon God X-Axion looked really interesting. I'm going to read more of that, actually. Gunsmith Cats seems to have been Kenichi Sonoda's brainchild, or like love letter to the fact that he is a
K-poster.
Yeah, he is essentially Japan's version or answer to K.
Have you ever looked at, well, you'll know, I assume, because you're the kind of retard like me, that will know that the Internet Movie Firearms Database exists, right? So, you know, it's like a website that posts all the guns used in a film or whatever. You should see the Gunsmith Cats entrance for it all. Here you go, just have a quick look at that.
How many entries?
Just scroll down. Just scroll down.
How many fucking sections? Holy shit. There's like 8 separate sections, each with about 5 or 6 different sub-entries. You will get a very quick impression that the guy who made this, and also, to be fair, the creative team behind the OVA as well, they quite like guns.
The rest of the Gainax guys go off to do their own shit, and Sonoda's just like, I'm gonna draw guns from now until I die. And then he was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to run a sweet shop.
Oh yeah, I heard, I was reading something about that as well. It's like a really, really traditional Japanese sweet shops.
It's like Sonoda Ya or something. That's what he does now. He's like barely involved in anime now.
He just makes sweets. Fuck you, you won't let me draw girls with guns? I'ma go make sweeties instead. Suck my dick.
That's what happens when you decide to rebuild Evangelion from now until time ends.
As we mentioned, the studio behind this is OLM Inc., who are the Pokemon guys. I read a little bit of the manga just to sort of try and get a bit of a feel for it before coming into like the OVA as well. That's a very good fit, actually. That's a really good fit for styles in terms of what Sonoda does.
It's kind of like how people always rave about the JoJo manga, that it's just being shot for shot. And it's like, yeah, this just looks like the manga. Okay.
They already have quite a cartoony style, and Sonoda himself has quite a cartoony style, so it blends really, really well. But they understood what the appeal of Gunsmith Cats was, so they took the time to really...
Guns.
There was 2 units worked on this, I suspect, because looking at the credits and everything, you've got 2 directors listed. You've got Takeshi Mori and I'm going to try that again. Kazuya Murata. I don't know what I'm doing. Can't pronounce Japanese names, I'm sorry.
The Kazuya guy, he's something to do with Pokemon.
If they are involved in OLM in some way, they are probably involved in Pokemon.
I think he's involved with Planet Ace and Gundam Unicorn, is he not as well?
So Mori, he's primarily a storyboard artist. He's got some directing experience, including Darker Than Black and Eureka 7. Murata has... We've covered one of his shows, or rather, I've covered one of his shows before as well. He did AICO Incarnation. He did Gargantia on the Verduous Planet, so he's done a bit of the Orobucha. He was a storyboard artist for Planet Ace, but to be fair, we won't hold that against him. But the fact that I'm describing 2 directors for what is a 3-part OVA, I think shows the amount of time and money that OLM Inc. have invested in this particular production. 2 teams have worked on this. It shows in the final product, definitely, but it also shows that OLM did, put a bit of time into this. I also should mention the composer of this series. Now, a quick disclaimer on this. I could not find out for sure if Peter Erskine was the man who composed the entire soundtrack, or if he just composed the opening and ending themes. Either way, all are fucking themes. A lot of fun, very jazzy. If you like saxophones and bass guitars, you will have a very good time with this soundtrack. Peter Erskine himself is kind of a veteran of the music industry. He's never been someone who has necessarily made a huge name for himself, but he has worked with people you have heard of. If you've heard of anyone from like Chris Botti, Michael Bublé, Weather Report, he has been the drummer for all of these people and more. Name a big jazz musician. He's probably worked with them at some point, but that's me enthusing about music. I'm only allowed to do that for so long, otherwise half of the audience shoots himself in the fucking head. So, moving swiftly on.
Thanks, Comrade Dave.
You're welcome, Tovarish. Robert, talk to me about things that you enjoyed about this show.
Guns.
just guns, nothing but guns.
Do you need anything more?
No, you don't, to be fair. This is not a complicated series. Let's be real here.
This is probably going to be one of our shortest videos.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
If someone like specifically designed a show to cater to both you and I's base instincts.
Cater with a K.
It's a magical place, Robert. It's a magical place. But yeah, it's literally designed to appeal to my lowest common denominator, and I am absolutely fine with that. If you want plot, they sort of pretend it's there, but it's not terribly relevant. It is literally just an excuse for Rally to run around with guns and shoot guns in an awesome way, and then May to show up and save the day by exploding everything, because that's how she fucking rolls. And then the show ends, and you've had a damn good time. What's the car they have? I should have looked this up.
It's a Mustang 2 Cobra.
They nail the animation on this. The fact that there are 2 units working on the animation on this doesn't surprise me when you look at the animation of something like the Cobra. Like the way it moves and the way it's animated and the way it like drifts about on screen at all points. One thing you have to appreciate as well is that this was all done without the benefits of, you know, modern animation techniques and modern animation software. Holy fuck, this looks so good. Like, no wonder this took 2 units to create this. It's yeah, that chase scene was incredible. It's only 3 episodes. It is, as we mentioned, just an OVA, but it's a very simple one.
Shall not be infringed.
Come and take them.
Shall not.
Rob, negatives. Do we got some negatives?
It's 3 episodes long. There's no plot.
This is not a terribly serious show if you are looking for very, very serious content. If you are looking for something slightly more... I'm sorry, I'm just looking at this link that you've put.
Dino Tendies is the boy.
You hate that?
His YouTube channel is the greatest. I'm not exaggerating here.
Just looking at that is giving me a stomach aneurysm. I have no more thoughts to express about the potential negatives of this show, because as far as I see, there really aren't any. You know exactly what you're getting. The clue is in the title. This is the problem with doing a fucking 3-part OVA. There's not a lot to say about it, is there?
It's good. Go watch it. Please buy t-shirts from Dino Tendies.
I guess we can do a summary here, but there's not terribly much to summarize. We have basically covered the entire show, and by now you will know if you are a true what's the term? American, there you go.
I mean, red-blooded American, you fucking moron.
It's been a long day, okay, fuck you.
I have to let you fuck up. It's part of the joy I get in life.
Anyway, yeah, by now from our description, you will know if this is something that appeals to you, which is to say that it's one of those things. You either like the cute girls shooting the guns or you don't. And if you like the cute girls shooting the guns, go do yourself a favor and watch it and see if you can dox Rob by watching the, credits at the end, because he's there, apparently.
Well, you have to buy the Blu-ray to find me.
Anime fans buying things? Don't be ridiculous.
You know what's going to happen, Dave, when we get banned off YouTube?
What are we going to do? Where are we?
Oh, we're just going to post on Pornhub like all those gun channels that got banned.
I can just replace all of the reaction images, just use hentai instead, and there we go, we're fine.
Same audience. Right. Is that the recording done?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay, so I'm going to unpause the recording.